Hello, everyone. Welcome to the English podcast. You could join us today. We're diving into something I think a lot of people grapple with, mastering English fluency. Think of this as, well, a shortcut to getting the key info on how language learning really works effectively. And this is for everyone, really. Doesn't matter if you're just starting out with English or maybe you've been learning for years but feel, well, a bit stuck. We're going to look at strategies, real stories, and things you can do every day.
Absolutely. And the idea here isn't just, more tips. It's about pulling out the practical, actionable stuff from what actually works, things that can genuinely transform your English journey, real insights.
Right. So yeah, get ready to maybe grab a few key ideas. We think this could make a real difference. Let's jump in. 1, the mindset shift. Confidence over perfection. Okay, first things first. We have to talk about this common idea that fluency means being perfect. Big one. Just doesn't. Fluency is really about flow, being able to get your thoughts out, keep talking, even if the grammar isn't like 100% perfect every single time.
Exactly. It's like thinking of a river. It just keeps going.
Yeah, even if there are a few rocks. But we get so caught up on perfect sentences, and honestly, it holds so many people back.
It really does. And that perfectionism, well, it sort of puts your brain on high alert for errors. You get so focused on not messing up that you actually block the natural communication flow. Shifting to thinking about flow lets your brain relax a bit, focus on getting the message across, which is, much more like how we learn naturally anyway. Kids don't sweat the grammar rules, they just talk.
That's such a great point. Speaking of which, let me tell you about Priya. She's 23, an engineering student from Maharashtra.
Okay.
When she started her job, her English was very textbook. And she was super shy, really insecure, speaking in meetings, honestly just terrifying for her.
I can imagine. Very common.
But then she had this turning point. She just decided, okay, forget perfection. She started speaking simple English, yes, but consistently, even with mistakes. She just kept showing up and speaking.
Brave. That takes courage.
Totally. And the result, within like 3 months, people started complimenting her communication. A year later, she was leading client presentations.
Wow.
All because she just kept at it every day. Courage over perfection.
That story nails it, really. Confidence just gets you moving forward in a way perfectionism never can. And remember, those mistakes, they're not failures. They're proof you're trying. They're like little signals to your brain saying, adjust here.
Proof you're in the game.
Exactly. So maybe a question for you listening is, what's one tiny mindset shift you could make today? Just one small step towards confidence over perfection.
The superpower for fluency.
Okay, if there's maybe one thing, one big takeaway from all this is probably this: listening. It is the most critical skill for fluency.
Foundational.
Seriously, even before you worry too much about speaking, reading, or writing, you need to listen. A lot. It's like your brain's secret weapon for learning language. All fluent speakers, great listeners, period.
And there's a reason for that. Neurologically speaking, consistent listening, it engages your brain's implicit learning system. You start absorbing the rhythm, the intonation, the way sentences naturally flow automatically. Without consciously dissecting grammar, you're basically rewiring your brain for English.
Rewiring, I like that. Okay, example time. Ravi, he's 12, never went to an English class in his life.
Okay.
His secret: he watched the cartoon Doraemon every single day. In English. Now, at first, he didn't understand much, obviously. But after about 6 months, boom, he just started speaking in sentences automatically.
Wow, just from listening.
Just from listening. His ears literally trained his brain.
That's powerful. So, okay, how do we actually do that? Well, the advice is pretty clear. Start easy. Kids shows, cartoons, maybe some daily vloggers on YouTube, something accessible.
Right, not Shakespeare on day one.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And here's a key tip. Listen to the same stuff repeatedly. Let it sink in. And don't stress about understanding every single word. Focus more on the sound, the rhythm, the melody of the language.
Let your ears do the work.
Exacts.
So here's something practical for you listening. Try this. Just 15 minutes of English listening every day. Podcast, audiobook, YouTube, whatever. Commit to it for 30 days.
Just 15 minutes.
Just 15 minutes. You will feel a difference. Fluency starts to grow kind of on its own. So maybe think now, where can you fit in those 15 minutes? Starting today. 3, the shadowing technique. Speaking like a native.
Okay, so building right on that listening point, let's talk about a specific technique. It's called shadowing.
Ah, yes. Shadowing. Very effective.
It's seen as one of the best ways to really improve your pronunciation and get that natural rhythm. Sound more like a native speaker.
And it's actually pretty simple to do, but the impact is significant. You basically take a short audio clip, say a minute long.
Okay.
Listen to it once just to get the gist, then play it again, and this time you repeat what you hear immediately after the speaker. Like an echo.
Like a shadow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're mimicking everything, the pronunciation, the pauses, the intonation, the rhythm,
Wow.
as closely as you can.
And why does that work so well? Because you're not just passively listening. You're actively training the muscles in your mouth, coordinating your ears and your voice. It builds that muscle memory for sounds and rhythm, making it feel more automatic when you speak. Boosts confidence, too.
Right. It connects listening and speaking directly.
Yeah.
Okay. Story time again. Ahmed, he's a taxi driver in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
Learned English almost entirely from movies. And his method, basically shadowing. He'd pause the movie, repeat the line, trying to copy the accent and everything.
Mimicking the actors.
Yeah. Then he'd play it again. Did this consistently. And the result, after about a year of doing this, pretty much daily.
A year, okay.
He was giving tours of Dubai in English to tourists. Confidently.
Fantastic. That really shows what consistent practice of this one technique can do.
It does.
So maybe here's a little challenge for you. Try shadowing just one short video clip every day, even just a minute or two. You do that consistently. Well, you'll definitely notice your pronunciation and flow improve. You'll start sounding more natural, probably within months.
Yeah, imagine actually nailing some of those tricky sounds or rhythms just by copying. It feels quite empowering, doesn't it? 4, building fluency through a consistent daily routine. So I've talked mindset, listening, shadowing. But the engine behind all of this, it's consistency. Simple as that.
Absolutely critical. Fluency isn't something you achieve overnight. It's built brick by brick, day by day.
No magic bullets, unfortunately.
Right.
Just smart, consistent work.
Right. And the best way to channel that consistency is often through some kind of daily routine. Doesn't have to be hours long. Even 30 to 60 minutes can make a huge difference if it's well structured.
Okay, so what did that look like practically?
Well, based on what works, a balanced plan might look something like this. Start with that 15 minutes of listening we talked about, podcast, whatever.
The foundation.
Then maybe 10 minutes of active speaking practice. Could be talking to yourself, using an app like Cambly or Speakify to talk to someone.
Getting the words out.
Exactly. Then maybe 10 minutes of reading aloud, a short article perhaps, helps connect the written word to the spoken sound. And then 10 minutes of writing, maybe just journaling about your day in simple English.
Okay, covering the core skills.
And finally, maybe just 5 minutes focused on vocabulary. Learn 5 new words, but really learn them, try to use them, that kind of thing. It hits all the key areas.
That sounds manageable, actually, broken down like that.
Yeah.
And for the speaking part, here's a tip I've heard works wonders. Though it might feel weird.
Go on.
Talk to yourself in front of a mirror.
The mirror technique, yeah.
Like have imaginary conversations, explain your day, argue with yourself. It sounds odd, but it's zero pressure, and you get used to forming sentences hearing your own voice.
It really works for building that basic fluency and confidence. And maybe add a little daily affirmation, something like, I am improving every day. Fluency is my friend, just to keep that positive momentum going.
I like that. Reinforces the effort. So for everyone listening, which bits of that routine could you maybe start with? Even just 1 or 2 things, starting today. 5, breaking the fear of speaking. Okay, let's tackle the elephant in the room for many learners. Fear. That fear of being judged when you speak English.
Oh, it's huge. A massive barrier.
It really is. But here's the hard truth. You cannot become fluent by staying silent. It's just impossible.
Absolutely. And it's more than just feeling shy. That fear can actually create a sort of cognitive block. You might know the words, know the grammar.
Right, it's all in there.
But the anxiety just stops it from coming out. So getting past that fear isn't just nice to have, it's essential for actually activating your speaking skills.
Let me tell you about Manoy's. Software engineer, really good grammar, knew his stuff on paper.
Okay.
But speaking, terrified, couldn't do it, total fear. Then he decided, right, I have to do something. He joined an online English speaking club.
Big step.
Huge step for him. First session, he completely froze, couldn't say a word.
Oh, no. That must have been tough.
Incredibly tough. But, and this is the crucial part, he went back the next week and the week after. He just kept showing up, pushing through that discomfort.
Persistence.
Exactly. And today, Manoj speaks confidently at professional webinars.
Wow, from freezing to webinars, that's quite the journey.
Isn't it? It just shows that consistent exposure, even when it's uncomfortable, it chips away at the fear.
It really does. And there are practical things you can do. Joining those online clubs is great, finding a safe space. Language exchange apps like Tandem connect you with people who want to practice.
Good idea.
You could even talk to your pet in English. Seriously, zero judgment there.
Huh. I like that one. Your dog won't correct your grammar.
Exactly. And another powerful thing, record yourself speaking. Just on your phone. Listening back helps you get used to the sound of your own voice in English, spots areas to improve without external pressure.
That's a good one, too. Makes it less scary. So, maybe think about it. What's one small, fear-breaking step you could take? Maybe even today. Just one thing to push that boundary a little. 6. Motivation from real-life fluency champions. Right, as we start to wrap up the main part of our deep dive, we wanted to share some really inspiring stories. Real people who achieved fluency, often against the odds.
Yeah, these are great examples of what's possible with dedication.
Think about Sakshi. She was a homemaker, started learning English seriously, put in the effort, and now she teaches spoken English to thousands on her YouTube channel.
Incredible.
Or Harish. He's a delivery boy. He got hooked on watching TED Talks in English, learned that way, practiced consistently. Now he's a motivational speaker himself.
From delivery boy to motivational speaker through TED Talks. Amazing.
And one more Chani, call center executive. She decided she needed to improve her English for her job, so she practiced every single night for a year, just putting in the time. Now she trains the new hires.
These stories are so powerful. And notice the common thread. It wasn't about expensive courses or some secret trick.
No.
It was commitment, patience, and maybe most importantly, the belief that they could do it. They just kept going, using whatever resources they had. They owned their learning.
They really did. They believed fluency was achievable for them.
So maybe a little mantra to take away from this. Every sentence I speak brings me closer to fluency. Every little bit counts.
Yeah, let those stories sink in. If they can make those transformations, then truly you can too. You have that capacity. Outro. Wow, okay, that was a lot, but hopefully some really useful stuff in there. Let's just quickly recap the big takeaways from this deep dive. First, fluency is flow, not perfection. Let go of that pressure. Mistakes are good. They mean you're learning.
Embrace the flow.
Second, listening is your absolute superpower. Immerse yourself. Let your brain soak it up.
Train those ears.
Third, use the shadowing technique. It's fantastic for nailing pronunciation and rhythm. Makes you sound more natural.
Copy like a pro.
Fourth, consistency is king. Build a simple daily routine. Listen, speak, read, write, maybe some vocab. Even 30 minutes helps.
Little and often.
Fifth, break that fear of speaking. Join a club. Talk to your pet. Record yourself. Just start making noise. Silence won't get you there.
Take that step.
And finally, just believe it's possible. Fluency isn't some magic talent. It's a skill you build. One conversation, one listening session, one shadowing exercise at a time.
Absolutely. It's a skill like any other. And maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Yeah.
Consider this. What if you consistently applied just one of these strategies we talked about? Just one. How could that not only boost your English, but maybe unlock new confidence, new opportunities in your life? Things maybe you haven't even thought about yet that go way beyond just the language itself.
That's a powerful question. Food for thought,